What up, what up, what up? What up? Y'all know I had to do this one. Let's not act like y'all knew I was going to do this. So, we got the interview from the Breakfast Club with Malik Yoba and Friends. In Fraands. Yeah, we're going to call it in Fraands. We just going to go ahead and get right into it. You know what I'm saying? It felt kind of strange. It felt really kind of strange to me. I saw some things that really bothered me. Let's go.
AMV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Now, last week, Charlamagne and I were doing a story. Angela Yee was out in Central Pay.
Yes.
And Charlamagne and I were confused with different things that we can say, different things that we could talk about when we were talking about transgender. We were talking about a story from Malik Yoba, who's here. And he called me and said, Envy, I want to come and I want to have a conversation. We also reached out to our good brother, Damon, who's been up here a couple times.
David Johns.
Mm-hmm. And said, let's have this conversation, a serious conversation where we can ask questions. It's not a joke. Where we can learn and understand everything that's going on because we don't know.
Let's have an educated conversation.
Educated conversation.
Yeah. But we do understand what's going on. These people, man, we understand what's going on. Y'all understand what's going on. Charlamagne, during this interview, he started to look like even he was feeling uncomfortable. And I already know what y'all gonna say about him. Envy is feeling right at home. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So Damon
and we're not
decided
educated.
Not at all.
No.
Nah, so Damon decided to join us this
David,
morning.
man.
I said Damon?
Yes.
Oh, David
God.
John. David decided to join us this morning, and I appreciate
I'm a boy, Damon.
I appreciate that.
So let's get right into it. You brought somebody with you, and Malik, you brought somebody with you as well. So introduce your guest, please.
Yeah, I'll let Brother Yoba go first.
No, I'm going to let you go first, brother. Sound like a Muslim, Brother Yoba. You want a bean pie, brother?
So for those who don't know, again, appreciate the invitation. I'm David Johns. I lead the National Black Justice Coalition. We are intentional.
National Black Justice Coalition, huh?
Unapologetic and standing at the intersection.
Look at that. That word unapologetic. I feel like every time I hear the word unapologetic, listen.
David decided to join us this morning, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
So let's get right into.
Every time I hear the word unapologetic, it just feels like an invitation for a ratchet bitch to pop out the corner and just be like, yes!
You brought somebody with you, and Malik, you brought somebody with you as well. So introduce your guest.
Yeah, I'll let Brother Yoba go first.
No, I'm going to let you go first, brother. Sound like a Muslim, Brother Yoba.
Y'all see them two chicks right there? Yeah, them ain't no chicks. They big as hell, ain't they? Them some big motherfuckers. them some dudes. But I guess we got to call them trans women. They don't even want to be called that. Soon, look, we'll get to it.
You want a bean pie, brother?
So for those who don't know, again, appreciate the invitation. I'm David Johns. I lead the National Black Justice Coalition. We are intentional and unapologetic in intersections of racial equity and LGBTQIA+ and same gender loving equality. And I want to be clear.
LGBTQIA+, come on now. Last week, it was, y'all added 2 letters. Jesus, man. Come on, man. Now y'all just adding more letters on. I like when y'all say LMNOP, it's gonna be all letters. Watch. It's gonna be all letters. By the middle of next year, every letter in the alphabet gonna be on that motherfucker. Soon they gonna be looking on the goddamn Egypt walls for new letters.
When you guys reported this, and when I considered accepting this invitation, I had to acknowledge that this space and conversations had here have been a source of trauma for some members of the community.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
For trans folks in
conversations at your station have been a source of trauma. Anything you say about these people is traumatic. Listen to these folks.
Right? And the struggle was thinking about the best way to ensure that we take advantage of the opportunity that Brother Yoba has provided to make space to have these conversations.
Correct.
And so I both, before we do anything, want to acknowledge both the trauma, as well as y'all leaning into it, listening to it, learning from it, and then making space so that we can heal.
Now we know where Brother Yoba got the term leaning in. I just had to lean in. You're going to start hearing this shit so much because they put this whole script together.
Do better. Period. Full stop.
I'm all for that.
Right?
Amen.
Look
Touch
at
and
it.
agree. We touch and agree. Amen.
The real woman sitting over here all little than a motherfucker. Look at them. They all up over the back of the seat. She's just little in her. They ain't gonna give her too much camera time. Y'all know how they do Angela Yee.
And also acknowledging that, I'm a Black Savior-loving man, but this is a conversation centering the experiences of our trans and non-binary members of our community. I invited Nala Toussaint, who is a member of our Black Trans Advisory Council. She's a healthcare worker. She's a healer. She's somebody who helps to advocate for ensuring that Black people make space for other Black people. So she joined us today.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, do I get to introduce now? So I introduced my the impetus actually for a lot of my activity in recent months and weeks is my good friend Carmen Carrera, who some folks know from RuPaul's Drag Race, and she transitioned on television, and she's a hero. She's a superhero, and actually
he got a thing for that chick. You see that blonde dude? He got a thing for that chicka dude. The chicka dude. They got some eye contact that's gonna be going on while everybody else looking. Watch these folks.
Carmen is the person that inspired me or made me self-reflect as a person who thinks that they live authentically and lives in my truth. I realized that when I hang around my friends who are members of the LGBTQ plus community, they are a lot more authentic than me. They live in their truth, and they live with their truth with a lot of persecution and abuse.
See, we got to knock something way the fuck up out the park. This is what we need to, my truth, your truth, their truth. This is like a fantasy world. This is something that don't exist. There is no your truth. There's the truth and your opinion. My opinion, his opinion, her opinion, blankety blank opinion. The whole my truth, when people get to talking like that, man, you got to realize they might be full of shit. This is my truth. What the fuck is your truth that's not my truth? This some stupid shit.
Times ends in murder. And as a person who has grown up in New York City, went to Julie Richmond High School, Talent Unlimited program, where two kids transitioned. One was Octavia St. Laurent, who ended up in the movie Paris is Burning. I went to school with her, who ended up HIV and drug addicted, and someone who in the later years of her life I really tried to put her on in some shows and stuff I was producing. And so I've carried this burden, as I carried a burden for incarcerated individuals, for kids in poverty, for human beings that are suffering and marginalized. That's just my mission in life, to lift up other people. And so
why I ain't been seeing none of this nigga mission? Like, now all of a sudden you just pop up talking about, oh, god damn.
World Pride.
I know I'm going to get
past,
to it.
June, I thought I was just supporting Carmen on Float. Mm-hmm. And I've been around the Pride parades around the world, like just as oh wow, look at people celebrating life. And I've actually always been a little envious, because I'm like, the Pride parade for me has always been like, wow, people are just celebrating life. It's not some...
That is not what the fuck that is. That Pride parade is about those gay folks and that LGBT, that community. It's about those folks letting the world know in color and dances and nakedness that, hey, I'm gay. Because we all need to know that shit. It's not about celebrating life. This is stupid.
Ethical figure or some holiday.
Like, it's like, now we done changed it to the Pride Parade, and now it's about celebrating living life. So really, all of y'all should be here with us. Yes, bring your kids down here and watch these men walk around with their ass cheeks out.
It's just living.
It's called pride, too, having pride in who you are as a human being.
And who you are. And so this pride, at first I was just drinking the tequila on the float inside.
It's pride in accepting and loving who you are as a human being, then why did these people show up protesting the straight pride parade? Do straight people not have the right to celebrate who they are? Nobody's down there protesting you motherfuckers with your ass cheeks out and then see it all on the front of the newspaper.
Certain point, I decided to sit on top of the float with Carmen. Mm-hmm. And it was that moment as we're going down Fifth Avenue and folks, mostly black and brown people, are looking at me and looking at Carmen and seeing us sit next to each other. They're drawing whatever conclusions people draw if you sit next to a female. But in that moment, I felt pride. Mm-hmm. I felt like, oh shit, like, yo.
You felt pride. So you was at the pride parade and then you got on the float. And as the brown and the black people were all looking at you in some sort of way, you felt pride. This is stupid as hell, y'all.
From New York. I've been on Fifth Avenue. I've never felt this feeling of like, and it's not about.
This is him coming out. I don't care how many times you tell you he's heterosexual. What was the pride? What was the feeling that he got at the pride parade being up on the float on Fifth Avenue? Why would he be feeling that pride? Listen.
It was just a pride for living and a pride for my people and a pride for the strength of
my people. So at the parade with the LGBs, you got up on the float, and at that moment, you felt pride for living and for your people. Who is your people? I want to know.
Around me. And so we've been working on a number of things. You mentioned trauma, David, which is very, very real for all of our community.
That nigga said he been on Fifth Avenue. He never had a feeling of pride like this. Wow.
And so Carmen and I have a workshop called Love and Trauma, the Trans Experience, which looks at trauma and love from a political perspective, community perspective, family perspective, interpersonal. And so we've been working on that. We've been working on some book projects, some content projects to tell these stories. And I found out about Trans Visibility March coming up on September 28th. I saw it on Instagram. I hit them up and I said, hey, I want to support. And they said, okay, we appreciate you posting. I said, no, use my name. I want to show up. And they couldn't believe it. They go,
man, these two dudes right here looking like the trans dudes, they big as hell. Look at their shoulders. They got them strong ass necks. And
I told the story about Carmen. And so I thought that.
This was before you had said it.
Oh, yeah, anything. Okay, this was like 2 weeks ago.
All right.
So the craziest thing is.
And then within that time, you were spending all that time with Carmen, and you had to let the world know that you attracted to trans.
Literally in the space of a week, we offered up the workshop the day before on the 27th in D.C. Because we wanted to bring together the community. This isn't a trans issue, it's a human rights issue. It's a civil rights issue. It's about, it's cisgender people that give birth to trans children, right? And so it is the
No, they don't give a birth to trans children. They give a birth to either a male or a female child. Do y'all see the bullshit? And when he said that, look at this dude's face with the red hair. Yeah, you hit that shit right on the head, bro. Right on the head, bro. Just like we wanted you to.
It is. It's the jobs, the employers. These aren't trans people,
right?
By and large.
Is this considered coming out? Because I started to say that just now.
I think it's called stepping the fuck up. I think it's called stepping up. I don't think.
Oh, it's not called. It's called stepping the fuck up. So the other people that don't come out and speak for those people, are you insinuating we some type of little bitch with that tone in your voice? So you want to put the burden on us to speak for these people who want to take the place of our women that we love? Bruh. Man.
I think it's called stepping up because there are a lot of black men, and I ain't gonna blow up.
Black men. not men, not white men and everybody and Latino men and Asian men, but black men. We need to step up.
But we all know who they are, that are in situations where they are friends, sometimes lovers, sometimes murderers of trans women. And there has been no other cis black man that, and for those that are confused about the language, cis is a term from chemistry that means two things that exist on one side, right? So for someone like myself who is heterosexual, who loves women, but I love people, and I hate to see people suffering. It's really, really basic for me. And so it's not about coming out. It's about stepping up and saying, yo, black man, when people want to shame Mr. C, or they want to shame Eddie Murphy, they want to shame Teddy Pendergrass, they want to shame folk because of their association with folks. I just felt like, who else is going to be willing to put a target on their back?
I don't think Eddie Murphy ever stepped.
Not us, goddamn. We not with that shit because, nigga, we already got to worry about being associated with the niggas we associated with that they don't want us to be associated with, like our homies and shit. God damn. We got gangbangers in our family. Motherfuckers look like we ain't even supposed to talk to them. But we supposed to come out here and take up for Eddie Murphy when he get caught with a trans prostitute. Okay.
No one has. No one has. That's my point. Oh. That's my point. And I don't want to be long-winded here because we got a lot of guests, but that was just my point of saying, like, yo, like just this past weekend, Labor Day weekend, 2 young people died. And we aren't talking about it.
I saw you were testing.
I covered you to say murder because oftentimes we say die like.
2 people died this weekend and we not talking about it. Do we want to look into, let's just pick a city. Let's just pick my hometown, Chicago. How many people died this past weekend? We ain't talking about them, but we need to be talking about those 2 people. See, because at the end of the day, you're going to say, well, what was they doing? Was they in the streets? Your people that died that weekend. And I'm going to say, well, what was Mr. Trans doing when he got killed? Was he not telling somebody that he was trans? I mean, I just got to know.
I think we got to say what it is. It's murder. It's not. They didn't, they got murdered.
Yes.
Brutally.
Okay, dude. They got murdered brutally just like everybody that get murdered.
Right? And so oftentimes we fluff around they die like as if it was like they naturally died.
Well, forgive me. I didn't mean that.
No, that's what he said. Usually when they when they come out with a report, a transgender male died this weekend by the hands. No, that's not what they do. Don't act like no one is admitting that these people are murdered. Because this motherfucker said, this bald head ass damn said that like you wanted them to, so you could just say this bullshit up out of your mouth. At the end of the day, the report is always, transgender man was murdered. Stop the bullshit, man. Like, why you feeding this fantasy, this exaggeration of how badly you motherfuckers are being treated? When 99 times out of 100, it's a motherfucker telling you, listen, okay, I don't give a damn why you need to be in my face with that shit.
No,
that's why this space is important. Words matter, right?
Words matter because like it gives context to like
get that big ass hand.
What we as a black community get to do to step up.
Mm-hmm. Now this
why the fuck everybody want the black community to step up to some shit? It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. That's y'all thing. Y'all went off. Listen, y'all went off in the Congress and fought for what y'all wanted. Y'all put money behind that shit, and y'all put the fight behind that shit to get what y'all wanted in Congress. There was no, let's do it black. Stop the bullshit, please.
The conversation came because I guess you did an interview, and out of the interview it said that you were attracted to transgender.
Right. And you know what? So let me just acknowledge all the faux pas I've made. I've been screwing up left and right? Because I thought, it started with, oh man, here's a young man getting taunted in a video.
Reese Willoughby,
yes.
Really
that was in Philly, right?
Right. He's from Philly, right?
Philly, yeah.
And I see this, I'm like, yo, that could have been me at 20 years old. But this kid is like, fuck that. I like this. I was like, I wasn't saying that at 20. I knew that I had some feelings inside. Like, why is it that if I'm with this, or if I meet a woman, because my first experience meeting a trans woman that I was actually attracted to, but you told me I should use, what did you say I should use?
I said we should start transforming the language around attractive, because we also have to understand impact versus intent. So when someone hears like, oh, a trans woman like myself, I hear fetish.
Right. So which is a trick.
So when he say attracted, you hear fetish. So now we need to start changing the meanings of word for you people too. Yes, I said you people, goddammit. This is how we getting it. So don't say attract, because that means fetish. I'm so attracted to my wife. Really? Fetish? How about fetish means fetish? Attracted means attracted. And by the way, this motherfucker is backstepping. As you're gonna say, fetish means you're keeping it, you're hiding it. He has a fetish because he's still hiding it with this backpedal, or he's attempting to hide it because we know what's going on.
Because I didn't know you were trans, right? So I see you in the light.
Since he realized I knew I had all these feelings. Who that sound like? Somebody coming out.
I see you. I'm
look.
like, I see you downstairs. I'm like, yo, that's a beautiful woman. That's what I thought. And so when you
couldn't tell that was a dude. You couldn't tell that was a dude. I can tell that's a dude and that white dude sitting next to him. I can tell them as dudes. Look at they necks, nigga. Look at them necks. He ain't no girl. But you saw a woman. Oh, that's a beautiful woman. And I guess what? Then you found out it was trans. Oh, get the fuck out of here. But you already knew. Nigga, you knew who that was before you met her. You been doing your research because you want to bang them.
told me you were trans, I leaned in to learn, right? And that.
There you go. I leaned in. There you go again. We want to lean in and learn about you buying boy trannies.
What it is. It's like, so my first experience, I was 16 years old in the club. I meet a woman named Carmen Extravaganza. I had no idea who she was. I just saw this fine Puerto Rican chick in the corner. And we start talking, and she opens her mouth. I was like, wow. And I leaned in. I was like, who are you? Where are you from?
What did you hear when she opened her mouth? She opened her mouth, and you was like, wow. Who are you? Where you from? You wanted the bone. He opened his mouth, and you heard a man. And you was like, this is a man looking like a woman. Wow. Who are you? Where are you from? Would you like to have my phone number?
That was the beginning as a 16-year-old. You go, what the hell does that make me? And there was no language. Who do I talk to? Because you talk to your boys, they're going to clown you.
Right.
You're like, yo, what do you mean?
There is a language. It's called the English language. Or are we going to change the meaning of language now?
Like, no, but this is a human being. Like, she said some really interesting things. And I mean, I hope Carmen speaks up, because this woman here is like a unicorn that has been schooling me left and right. Malik, don't say that. Don't do that. Like little things. Like, for instance,
Also, be yourself. Also, it's
Just point the mic. Yeah, just point the mic. I know you guys are sharing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that introduction. No.
You can't tell that's a dude. See, unicorn. Malik's wife, wherever you is, I think it's time to roll, bro. Listen, lady, it's time to roll. I bet you can't find nowhere this nigga compare you to a unicorn. Farting out glitter. None of that. But that right there, oh, that's a unicorn. That's a goddamn man corn.
First of all, your nails are fire, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God. Charlemagne. What the fuck? Charlemagne.
Walked the fashion show yesterday for Chromac.
Like drip.
Yeah, I think that for me, I've dealt with a lot of men that are just too afraid. They don't have the language. They don't, they're quick to, I guess, pass judgment.
They don't have the language. So they're not saying what you want them to say. They don't have the language. This dude over here using the word language. She using the word language. They both using it out of context. Then they all sitting at the table talking about leaning in. and all this shit. Man, come on, bro. How long y'all been putting this together with Malik, the Malikster?
And other men or on trans women, but they're not able to stand up and say like, yeah, this is what I like. And I'm still popping and I'm still at, like for me, I grew up in Jersey. Like I love hip hop music. I feel like I am just like everybody else in my generation.
But everybody else in your generation don't love hip hop. So what the fuck are you even talking about?
And then to feel excluded all of a sudden at one point in my life when I'm being my 100% authentic self is just wild to me.
Because how are you being your authentic self when you went and changed who your authentic self is? People see that as weird. It's not that they don't understand what you're doing because you tell them what you're doing. So they understand. But what you think is when people understand it, they have to come closer to you now. No, we don't want to lean in. We don't want to deal with that.
Men that are attracted to us that keep us as a secret and are hella abusive, it's a shame, and we all need love.
How the hell you got a top shirt on that's just over your shoulders only? Like you was putting the shit on and just stopped at that point and was like, fuck it, I'm going to leave it like this and let my titties hang out. My fake titties. Because we're not freaky shit. We're normal.
So when I met Malik, I knew his trans attraction existed. I've heard, stories or whatever, but I wanted to see for myself and I wanted to see where his mind was at.
What stories you done heard? Damn, Malik, a lot of people done heard stories. Oh man, bruh, she already was up on you. My bad. Oh man, I gotta stop fucking up. That long ass face, that long ass nose, them strong ass jaws. These people is crazy as hell.
See where his intentions were, being at a pride parade, and I wanted to make a friend, and I wanted to see really like how does his mind work, and why hasn't he come out?
What's up with all the eye contact and Malik? You here doing an interview for the station? I'm telling you, her and him, y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. Dude and Malik is on some shit. Wifey, baby, it's something you got to understand that's going on here. I hope you seen this.
Earlier.
Stepped up.
Yeah, stepped up. I'm sorry.
Can I offer up a term?
Yeah.
I want to offer up a term. We've talked a little bit about this before. Well, the term we should be using is inviting in. Mm-hmm. The thing that coming out does, it is a white people thing.
Mm-hmm. The phrase, not term. Inviting in is not the term, it's the phrase. Now, how the fuck is coming out a white people term? What the fuck? What the fuck?
It acknowledges that white people get to come out.
It is. Hold on. The phrase coming out is a white people term. Oh my God. And it means white people are coming out. Listen, man.
To neighborhoods. We've talked about this before. Hollywood, California, Chelsea, New York, Boys Town, Chicago.
See, I don't know about Hollywood and Chelsea, New York, and all, but I can tell you about Boys Town in Chicago. Listen, this is not somewhere that gay black dudes don't live. They're there too. He's making it seem like these are places that are exclusively set up for white gays. When you can go to Boys Town, and it's even straight people living all up in that damn area. Straight people raising families in that area. And he think it's only set for white gays when there's black gays and everything down there too.
They then get to draw power from being gay. Most black and Latinx, black and brown, LGBTQIA folks live with other black and brown people, right?
That's because that's what they want to do. They can go to Boys Town too.
Brooklyn around the juice bar.
Right.
Most of us are concentrated in the South, in states where it is legal to discriminate against us based on actual or perceived sexual identity.
But hold on. In the South, it is not legal for them to discriminate against you. What is this dude talking about? Y'all see this shit? What is this? This nigga just said it's legal. It's legal for the South to discriminate. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Gender orientation or gender expression. It is not safe for Black trans folks to come out in the way that is otherwise popularly celebrated in most instances. That's why most Pride events over June.
That is a lie. It is safe for y'all to come out. It's not safe for y'all to fuck with these dudes, whatever dudes it is y'all finding out here, and not tell them. And then get into bed with them and shock the fuck out of them. And then they go into a fit of motherfucking temporary insanity and chop your ass up. Of course, that's not safe. The coming out part is safe. Coming out as gay has always been safe in the Black community. Ain't nobody just beating y'all up because y'all, whatever the fuck y'all is. This is a whole heap of bullshit here. The flame has been flaming forever in the Black community. What is he talking about? He's exaggerating.
White.
And it was started by
that's why most Pride stages, the people at the microphone are gay white men. Right. In spite of the reality, that's where Malik is going, that there would not be a Pride anything, there would not have been a Stonewall Resistance without Marsha P. Johnson, a Black trans woman, and Sylvia Rivera, a Latinx trans woman, who also then founded a political movement that led to what we just celebrated more recently in terms of civil unions for white folks, while Black folks still can't get jobs or housing and are dying. And so the thing that we have to...
But hold on. The civil union is not just for white folks. What did they talk? Listen. Now he's sounding like these pro-blacks. We did this for you white people to get rights, as if you didn't get that right too. You, Mr. Gay Black man, you could go and have a civil union with another Black gay man. Why are you making it seem like this shit is for white people and you can't do it? Then you're attaching this whole little movement right here to while Black people still can't get jobs and are dying. Well, how about this? Black women been getting some decent jobs. What's going to happen when it comes to a point a Black woman at a job interview and a Black transgender is at a job interview and their qualifications add up to the same? Like, they got the same qualifications. What happens once the straight Black woman can't get the job because the motherfucker giving out the job feels like they have to give it to the trans? Or they gonna face the LGBs. Now she can't get a job.
Is that so much of this is about length.
I know y'all gonna be like, that's extreme. Yes, listen to him. He's very extreme. Because that whole community did all this fighting just for white people to do some shit, right?
When we say, when did you come out? It would work if straight people had to offer up a similar response. But it's usually straight people with their arms.
And it's crazy. I'm sorry, I gotta keep stopping this shit. Y'all know how I do. This is what you're here for. It's crazy how they're trying to supposedly bring everybody together and they want to be accepted with everybody else. Wow, this motherfucker is still sitting here dividing white and Black with his rhetoric. So, but after we get this shit together, we still gonna be racist out here. Let's do it like that.
I said, when did you realize you were weird? Right? And then queer people have to offer up some story that's usually laden with trauma. Right? And then sometimes that's disrupted. Jason and Nadir have a show called Style in Hollywood where they...
So if you don't want to tell nobody when you realized you was gay or trans or when you decided you was going to be trans, you don't want to answer that. Why are you out here telling everybody? I thought y'all wanted everybody to have an understanding. But we can't ask questions? Don't you want people to lean in? But you don't want to answer those questions. And y'all ain't going to answer no questions. Y'all ain't going to answer no questions. Charlamagne going to sit his ass over there. He don't even know what to fucking ask.
We didn't have that.
But he made sure he told dude he had some nice nails. Goddamn, Charlamagne, what is...
Trauma, we were supported and loved, right? That narrative is never offered up, right? But when you shift it to inviting in, then y'all got to do the work.
Let me ask you a
Y'all
question.
got to find a
What is the
language and be
proper term
competent.
when you speak, because as a kid, we were talking about this the other day. At the kid, the term was, let's say, for somebody mentally retarded, that would be the term. But now they're saying you can't use retarded.
Right.
Even for, as a kid, when you would say somebody's small, it'd be a midget. But now it's not the term. So
Right.
when we refer, is it trans woman? Is it transgender? Like, what is the term that we can use that's not offensive?
And that's the important piece about relationship building, because everyone identifies differently within the community, right? Mm-hmm. You have some folks who will say transgender women. You have...
So then you can't complain on what the fuck people call you. Everybody is identifying with something different. So now we need to know on a personal level what to call you.
Folks will say women of trans experience because that's how they feel. And then also you have like when you had Janet Mock, she says some folks reclaim the term tranny. So like, I know for damn sure you ain't gonna call me that, right? Because I don't feel affirmed by that. But for some folks, they take...
Big ass vein in your neck, dude.
Power in that, and we shouldn't take that from them. There's also this term non-binary, right? So we know cisgender is a part of the binary construct. Mm-hmm. And if y'all don't know what that means, there's Google,
please break it down. Well, I was going to...
Malik mentioned the term earlier. So we acknowledge that gender is assigned at birth. People assume that they are male or female, right? And that naturally, God says you're going to be this, that, or the other. But the realistic thing that happens is that when babies are born, my sister just delivered twins. Shout out to them, Jackson Jet. When babies are born, the doctor assigns birth. They pull out instruments. They make educated guesses, right? Like
so you don't come out a male or a female. The doctor decides that by making educated guesses. So now you're not a male because you were born with a penis. Because who knows what you were supposed to be? That's just the doctor making an educated guess. Wow. God didn't do it. The doctor did it. The penis does not make you a male. Oh my God. I think we found some people crazier than AOC. I want to know what AOC think about this, because I think not even she will agree with the shit they saying. And y'all know that lady can say the most nutcase tree full shit out there. I don't know what the fuck that term was or that phrase was I just used. But you know what I'm saying. Nobody can say dumb shit like AOC until today.
Sometimes while babies are in utero, this changes. There are times where a doctor cannot actually make an assignment. And those people are called intersex. To your point, it used to be
right, but the trannies ain't called that. Because the trannies, they came out with a penis. Some big, some little. They came out with a penis. So, before the doctors were like delivering babies, and everybody was delivering their own babies with their family at home, the doctor wasn't deciding if you were a male or a female. So who was doing it then? Huh?
That people used to call hermaphrodites, right? And so if you identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth, you're cis.
Right.
And to Malik's point, scientifically, it means you're on the...
I don't give a fuck about no cis term. If I identify with the gender I am at my birth, I am a normal person. Just like you, sir. Just like all the normal people that are gay in the world. But y'all changing it up. See, because a lot of people used to always jump on the gay people. You ain't no girl, but he's saying, no, I'm not a girl, I'm a dude. I'm just gay. I like dudes and shit, and I act like this. Or you ain't no dude, and the lady will tell you, no, I'm not a dude. I'm a lady. But shit, nigga, it is what it is. See, them folks ain't crazy like these motherfuckers crazy, bro.
Same side. If you do not agree because a doctor made a decision based on whatever that doctor was doing at that time, that is how you...
It wasn't based on a penis or a vagina. It was based on whatever the doctor was doing at that time. So it was because the doctor might have been doing coke. This nigga.
Identify yourself, how you make sense of your sexual identity, gender orientation, or expression. You are trans.
Or non-binary.
And there is a spectrum, right, of what it means to be trans. Too often, this conversation devolves back into people thinking about whether or not somebody has a penis.
That's right.
It don't have shit to do with that, which is why I appreciated Malik talking about and using the word attraction. I'm a black, same gender loving man. I love men, but I have trans attraction. I know bad black women, cis and trans. And some of this is just about using language to make space for people.
So I know bad black women, cis and trans. So now, black women, women of the world, because it's coming for white women too and everybody other women's. Those people that are pushing into your communities, they not coming out like this because they know this right here is stupid. They not trying to bring it to you like this. We dealing with these niggas. Like all these black folks, they got a voice to talk to the masses of black folks. These motherfuckers see you as dumb. So they'll come out here saying this dumb shit to you, but they basically putting all these motherfuckers under one umbrella as all just women. If you just a woman, a real woman, now you have to use the term cis. You're a cis woman, a cisgender woman. This is crazy. This is an attack on women. This is an attack on women, bro. They keep saying, man, you attracted to trans, even though he said the shit. He said, I'm attracted to women. I'm attracted to women. Even though he said, now he don't want to say I'm attracted to trans. I'm attracted to women. Because now they all women. Man, y'all ladies better smarten up. Where the fuck are the feminists now? Because the fellas, I'm going to tell you like this. I think we got to start helping out with this. We got to speak up for the women. And women, don't worry about these trannies taking your mens. Because if your mens want to fuck with one of these trannies, you don't want that nigga anyway. And don't say, well, I kind of still do. Well, then you deal with what come with that. I'm telling you, if your nigga like one of these trans, like Mrs. Yoba, if your nigga like one of these trans, you don't want that nigga.
To cisgender women as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
I mean, we all do it, right? You get a pass on. Jada Pinkett walked in here, so on.
Here's the thing about language. I think that.
What do you mean?
Oh, you mean okay? I'm confused.
He asked about sex attraction. You got to come
Well,
up.
got you.
Catching up.
This is because we're trying to clarify language. You know, what's interesting is that I grew up with a name like Yoba. I grew up as a Muslim, right? And so I remember going to school and I wore a kufiya and I was told to take it off because there were no hats allowed in school. And so even though the principal knew that I was Muslim, they still insisted upon me being something other than what I was to comfort them.
Right.
And
See, they don't want you to not be Muslim. They want you to take the hat off. Now, I don't get into the religious thing, but this lead back to what I was telling the person that called into my show on that live stream, talking about it's not about being a man, it's about spiritually who you are. And I asked that person, well, spiritually, how do you feel that spiritually all of a sudden you wake up and now you want long blue hair and blue lipstick and sparkly shit on you. Since it's not about how you look and what your outside looks like, it's about your spirit. Why are they changing their bodies? See, Malik say, it's like when I had to take my kufi off and, they wanted me to be something different because I had to take my kufi off. Oh, Jesus.
Father was not having it. Yoba means last of the slaves, a new generation. We move through this world with...
Nigga, we hear about what we here for. You trying to, take us off down the road somewhere else, nigga. God, you want some detour shit, nigga.
A confidence and, a way of being that says, I don't care what the rest of the world is saying. It's like Nipsey said, I'm doing this. They saying that, I'm saying this. And this is my truth, right?
Why you gotta reference Nipsey? If he wouldn't have got killed on that damn camera, you wouldn't even be referencing him. You wouldn't even heard that shit. I'm tired of y'all with this shit.
Or whether I'm Yoba, this is who I am. And the same thing, I think, happens with language around this issue. I make a post, and people think it is their responsibility to call me gay. Which I understood.
Don't they have the responsibility to have an opinion? Oh, but it's don't let the world know. So y'all get to let the world know how y'all feel about shit, but nobody else does.
I agree. Right. I agree. But it isn't me.
What do you consider yourself?
What do you consider yourself?
See? Niggas can't even lean in and ask you a question, bro. You can't even tell him you heterosexual when he say, what do you consider yourself? Why he can't lean in and understand and ask you the question? You answer his question with a question. Charlamagne, what do you consider yourself?
He's a cisgender man.
No, I asked him what he considers himself.
I guess.
Look at his face.
Great, based off.
You guess? So there's a gray area there.
No.
What is
you just said yes? You guess.
You
guess.
I guess I'm straight.
I'm straight. But here's the thing. So
Yoba want to play with the words, so we gonna play with the words. Charlamagne like shit. I don't know what to say, but Charlamagne, there's a lot of questions about you too out here. So maybe that's why he said, I guess straight. But I'ma just say straight. Yoba, you want to play semantics? We gonna play it well over here.
Don't know what you know until you know it.
There might be another word for it.
No, but here, let me help you out.
Heterosexual.
So some of my favorite new people in my life are trans men, right? Teak Milan, who you guys probably know.
Yeah, I had him on my show back in the day.
He's also a member of our advisory council.
I had him on Uncommon Sense back in the day.
The dudes from Black Trans TV, Sir Love, and Sir Knight, and Love More. Like I've been watching these dudes, feeling like, wow, these are black men. These are black men that have no fellowshipping with other cisgender black men. So I made it a point to reach out to these brothers and say, I want to be friends with you. I want to meet you. Let's sit down and have lunch or coffee, whatever. So I was with Teak about 2 weeks ago. And Teak says, I identify as a queer man. And I'm like, word? Well, yeah, queer for me is, I'm part of the community forever. And, he's saying that it's more of a cultural thing for him. I was like, wow. So, and he only dates heterosexual women, right? Is that the right term?
Yes.
Did I get the right? Okay, thank you. So
I'm trying to figure out why you can identify as anything you want. But when I say I'm not an African, they be like, oh, yes, you is. That's proven. Well, you was born with a penis, nigga. That's proven. I don't give a fuck what dudes say. The doctor did not decide you was a male. Okay? I'm stuck on that. I can't believe they coming out. Let's go.
So I said to him, well, I identify as a heterosexual male. I love women. I don't want to, it's not about bragging, but I've made a point in my life to really live a well-examined life, and through all my dating of women, I've always really studied what is it about this journey of loving a woman, right? My parents were separated at 10, when I was 10 years old. I didn't learn how to love a woman based on my father. I had to learn it through experience, right? And so I've been very, very thoughtful about what does it mean, to love a woman. And so I've always identified as heterosexual male, and so when
all these people didn't have their fathers. I mean, I guess his father was in his life, but all these people didn't have their fathers around.
Said he identifies as a queer male, I said, so does that mean if we both love heterosexual women, does that mean I need to expand my definition of heterosexuality?
No, you can't change what heterosexual means. You see what I'm saying with these folks? When you start talking with these folks, they want to change everything. Now we need to change what heterosexual means. Fuck it. Queer means heterosexual now. Fuck it. Attraction means fetishness.
Or do I take on this new term? And so I'm not comfortable taking on the term of queer because I don't think there's anything queer about me. I live in a world.
It could be a political stance.
It's a political
It could
stance.
be a political stance.
Okay.
As well.
You said you was attracted to dudes. I know you said trans women, but those are dudes in women's costumes.
So I consider myself a heterosexual male that loves women, period, end of story. I'm not attracted to the male aesthetic. I am not attracted to men. And so that's where...
That motherfucking man sitting next to you, I don't care what dressed like a woman, made up like a woman, you saw that motherfucker and you said that's an attractive woman. That is a man, and you saw the neck on that strong ass man and you still said that is an attractive woman. Nigga, you are attracted to men. I'm sorry. Get over it. You need to be real and live in your truth. Lean in and understand yourself, brother.
It gets very, very nuanced, I guess is the word, right?
No, but not really. Just period, full stop.
Yeah.
What's that?
Period,
full stop. Sometimes we make these things overcomplicated, right? Like, I like strawberry ice cream. I know I don't like chocolate ice cream. I know I really like strawberry, not chocolate, because I've tried both, right? Like, what you're saying is I am a cisgendered, identify with the gender that a doctor assigned, heterosexual, I love women. Man, the comma is because we live in a world where trans people are erased as cis and trans. You are a black man who loves women of color, cis and trans.
Right.
Period, full stop.
Can I ask a question? How do you determine between...
See, right. If you're attracted to cis and trans, you like men, bro. Stop it. It's over. It's over. It's done with. Angela Yee, I don't... See, these people, they want to keep their jobs so bad. And I guess I understand it because, you know, you'll starve if you ain't got your job. But Jesus, man, like, she should be so offended at this. These men with these big-ass hands and these big-ass necks coming up in here and these big, strong-ass motherfucking jaw lines.
A fetish and an attraction. Because I'm sure there's people...
Finally, we get to look at a damn woman. The beautiful Angela Yee. Yes, baby girl. Yes, baby girl, get it.
of fetishes also, and I'm sure that has to be a whole nother category in life.
I can't.
So what I was talking about earlier about intent versus impact, right? So fetish comes as like when you only want to be with that person in the dark. You only want to be with that person sexually. You fetishizing them, right? Rather than...
That's not fetish. Come on now. If, like, say if you got a girlfriend, so you got a creep to be with your side bitch. That's not a fetish. You attracted to the side bitch. It's not a fetish. Come on now.
And intentional and actually saying, who are you?
Right.
How can I get to know you? What are your ways of being? And so oftentimes, because, and I hate to say it, but it's facts, is that, you know, our community has this rhetoric that creates stigma for particularly men, particularly black men, who can't feel free enough to be able their authentic self to love inclusively, to love freely. And so what then end up happening is that stigma promotes that fetishization, right?
But they have the right to decide what they want to decide, and they actually do let people know this is how we got all of the gay men in the goddamn community. You want to say it's a stigma, and it's from the black community, stigma that the black community is putting out on these men, so they want to have it. No, they just want to have it because they some punk bitches. You know what I'm saying? Tell their ass living their truth. Don't try to come and tell us we need to treat them the same as we always did. Cause that's hard to do when you see certain shit going on.
Oh, I can't be seen with you because the hood gon' clown on me.
That's right. Or you were friends with Elon Knuckles.
But all of y'all say y'all don't give a fuck what a nigga think about y'all, so who cares if the hood clown on you?
Right.
Right?
You know what I'm
saying? The
saying?
hood just
Right.
crowned. They killed her.
Yeah,
They,
we've seen. Yeah,
they killed her. Right?
Terrible.
I
We
see you
have to be
shaking your
clear
head a
that
lot,
black
Carmen.
trans women. Oh, go for
What were
it,
you
Carmen.
saying? What were you thinking?
I'm just listening.
Oh, no.
None of these people speaking out against the real women that are being killed every day. They want us to focus in on these handful of dudes claiming to be women. Fuck the women.
I mean,
To the mic.
I want to know, like, okay, so for me, it doesn't make a man any different if,
Right.
you know, he's heterosexual and he loves women and he's attracted to trans women. He's still the same person. I still see him as no different than any other man that loves women.
That is there a difference when it fully transitions? Let's say is that a different name that you call opposed to somebody? For instance,
I don't understand your question. You said fully
I'm
transition.
trying to say. I'm just going to
me.
ask a question. So when you're a man and you transition to a woman, right?
If she still had a
So
penis.
this is problematic.
Yeah.
That is problematic because again, transness has so little to do with otherwise male determined genitalia.
Right.
We
That's what I'm talking
gotta
about.
get.
So if it has so little to do, why are they going to get titties and vaginas? Because that makes you a woman. Or a fake woman. But when you're born with a vagina, you're a female. And they know that shit. That is why they go and try to get a vagina and some titties. Because they see the real women with it. Don't tell me motherfuckers out here as dudes going to get vaginas and titties and still walking around dressing like men and stuff. No, that's not what's happening. They're trying to look like women. They're trying to deceive people. They are. I don't give a fuck what they tell you. They're meeting men and not telling because some of these niggas can't tell for some reason. I don't know. I see some necks like that and I'm like, look, bro. And you big as hell, and your hand big as hell. I just shook your hand. Your shit was bigger than mine. Now we got issues going on here.
Being fascinated with people's dicks. Period. That's not what this is about. This conversation is about people's spirits.
Right.
Making space for people and how they show up. It ain't got shit to do with what they got between their legs.
And also,
See, spirits. How they show up, though. What does the spirit have to do with how you show up? What does the spirit have to do with how you look? This is what we was talking about on that phone call. Remember that shit?
too, it's like I want to live in a safe place. If I want to go to Pergola or somewhere, you know, and I meet somebody, I don't want to be scared for my life. I should be able to say, hey, I'm trans at the bar and not think any less of me, you know? Like, that's really what I feel like
Even though millions of motherfucking straight women are out here dying every goddamn year in this world, and you think it don't feel safe for you because you a tranny, because you looked and found goddamn 6 stories of some trannies getting killed because they didn't want to tell the motherfucker they was a tranny. Y'all know this is bullshit. And nigga, you know that penis makes you a male and that vagina makes you a female. Y'all know that shit. Y'all know it takes a real woman to make a baby. I bet y'all cool with these motherfuckers trying to make it so that men can give birth. I bet y'all cool with that shit. Cause then y'all want it for a nigga to never find out. One of these goofy niggas that never find out that you really a dude.
in this conversation, because I've met so many men, like, just dating throughout the years, and it's just annoying, and they can literally have the most love for you and want to marry you and take you away and all this, but they will deny themselves and they will put so much pressure on themselves, which just causes a wedge.
Well, because
Can I ask Carmen
we've
and
had-
Nyla a question? Nyla, right?
So y'all putting up this big scare and putting this burden on all of us men because these weak ass men don't want to let nobody know that they gay. But then you're going to say they not gay because I'm not a man. I'm a trans woman. Next year, they not even going to put trans before woman. They just going to be like, I'm a woman. Women, this is an attack on women, bro.
I'm sorry. And amongst men, like whenever we see these transgender, women getting killed, like one thing that guys always say is like, oh, she must have slept with somebody and not told them. And I don't know if I agree with that, but what do you say to that?
Oftentimes, I feel like that is the rhetoric within our community that there's a conversation about deception. Because what you're saying is that someone didn't say, right?
Deceiving, right?
Right. Deception does not give anyone a pass for murder, right?
Nobody is saying it's okay to murder. What he's saying is, how do you feel when, they get killed and they didn't tell? They got killed because they didn't tell. You gonna act like just because saying, hey, he killed this tranny because this tranny didn't tell him. Just because I say that's what happened, I'm saying it's okay. Listen to this.
At all, right? And so oftentimes, and I'm gonna keep it real, I don't have to deceive anyone for them to come into my bedroom. Get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Folks will willingly give their numbers. So I also want that to be clear. So I feel like it's a false narrative, right? That to soften the blunt, right? To justify that this person got murdered because they were deceiving. When we have to understand relationship and relationship building takes time before you disclose anything.
No, it's not false. That person got murdered because they were deceiving. It's not false. That man will tell you that's why he killed that person. But it's false. Well, if that's false, even though these niggas are saying that's why they killed this nigga, since that's false in your eyes, well, then you lying when you say all these straight men give you their number. You lying. You lying. They gay men.
Mm-hmm. Right? It's about trust. Mm-hmm. Right? So I feel like it's equally about having a conversation with your partner, whoever you're going to engage with.
I think the bigger conversation and why I chose... People are very confused. Like, why all of a sudden this Negro just going to drop this in the middle of us for no reason? There was a reason. There's a march coming up on September 28th. And I was very intentional of posting something that would be followed up with a number of posts with Carmen and I and other members who are going to be at the march. And this thing's going to roll out over the course of a month. We got distracted with some nonsense. And so... the goal was to stay on the mission. The other mission is to create the space for men. And I can tell you, I've never had 15,000 people join my Instagram in like a matter of a couple of days.
Because you whack as fuck, you're not a good actor.
Right.
Ever. I woke up Monday morning like, what the hell just happened? I didn't realize that, my post was then picked up by black media, black social media, and spread it around with... They put some salt on it. People put some dirt on my name, which I was expecting, not specifics. I was expecting people to take exception to how is this super Negro that has been our hero since the 90s, who was the first black man in the history of television to be in a dramatic series representing the hood the way that I did proudly.
Hold on. Who the fuck in the world is seeing this nigga as a superhero since the 90s? That was the first in a network television series to represent the hood proudly. Who's saying this stuff? Who thinks this was a superhero nigga? Nobody's praising this nigga until now. The trannies are praising this nigga. Stop this bullshit. You making up shit, nigga. You forgot about. Ain't nobody checking for you, homie. Talking about a goddamn superhero. What the fuck you mean to represent the hood, nigga? We had James Evans on Good Times representing the hood in the motherfucking 70s, man. You better stop this shit. You better stop this shit. A lot of niggas been representing the hood on TV way before you ever came, nigga.
On purpose, with intention. Everything I do in my life is with intention. I was here 2 weeks ago, talking about real estate. Mm-hmm. Why am I intentional about real estate? Part of that is housing. Right? One of my favorite projects that I have an opportunity to participate is creating the first LGBTQ plus youth center in New York City for kids of color that does not exist. That's a boss move to say, fuck what everybody else is doing. These kids should not be homeless. They should not be in the streets. We're going to provide housing for them. I'm going to learn the real estate game to provide housing.
I noticed you did not say nothing about the straight kids that are homeless. They don't need housing, huh? Or are you saying that they're giving housing, but the gay ones, I mean, the tranny kids are not given housing? It's like, what are you saying here? Do you care about the straight kids that don't have a place to be?
Formerly incarcerated people, for people who can't afford to live in the city. How we talked about this. Where are we getting to the fund so that people can put their money in and have a piece of the city that they own?
Right.
So you gonna do a project and you gonna do housing for the kids of the LGBT community and the niggas coming out of prison. How close is this housing gonna be between the two? Like, what are you trying to do, nigga? It's starting to look like you want to lead other men to the little tranny boys.
The other thing is black men out here who are loving trans women who are afraid to stand up and talk. Yeah. I am your guy, okay? I can't tell you, I've never had thousands of Instagram fucking DMs from all over the world. Russia, Philippines, Brazil, London, Canada. Famous dudes hit me up. Yo, Malik, I don't know how you did it, bro. I don't know how you did it, but please. So back in the day, where I would have to go to find out about the trans community was to the balls. If you ever watch Pose, that whole culture, that was Harlem, 129th Street, between 7th and 8th, 6th and 7th. I was 19 years old when I went to my
first. What you call it?
A black space.
It's a black space.
I just, again, this is grounded in blackness. This is not some unblack stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And
This is grounded in blackness. This tranny movement he got going is grounded in blackness. Pro-blacks, it's time for y'all to speak up. I think we all need to come together, man, because this is an attack on our women's. They trying to take that space, and they keep using that word, the space.
at 19 years old with two cis women I grew up with. I didn't know. I was like, oh shit, this is like a football game and a fashion show. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All I knew is there was some beautiful women in there, and I was like, ooh, what's that? Right? So that was like.
So you didn't know, ooh, what's that at 19? But earlier you said at 16 you found out, and you was also like, ooh, what's that? Who are you at 16? Nigga, you just lying, bro.
Early exposure. Or you would go to these clubs that they had around New York City, and it would be like one dude in the corner by himself over here, another guy over here, another guy over here, and the girls would be running around. And I would just lean in like, yo, I'm just trying to learn who you are. There was no place to do that.
Do you feel like a show like Pose has been beneficial?
Yo, right, without question. Not only that, because the girls, some of those girls were sex workers. And now they have legit lives as actors, and they get a chance.
Which is also a complicated thing, right? Because sometimes sex work is done by choice. Sometimes it's done because you don't have a choice, right? And we need to talk.
So in your experience, because
nobody is forced to be a sex worker. I mean, you got some that are forced to be sex workers, but they don't be trannies. Not forced. Don't make it seem like.
What not looking like a choice is connected to resource, as you were just saying. The fact, right, because we had a point where, like, we have to pray, and I'm not saying we have to, but there's appraisal from some folks for him having to come out. There's appraisal for a black
people
stepped up, right?
Invite people in.
Invite people in, right, and then for him to also support LGBT, we shouldn't have to do that, right? We shouldn't have to be at a place of praising folks for doing what's right for people.
For other people of color,
for other people, especially black siblings. Because this is a conversation about siblinghood, right? And so, for example, it's not just...
apologize to my siblings.
Right.
There you go.
And it's not even just about, right, a black brother saying they're attracted. We also have, like you said, cisgender people make trans and non-binary babies.
No, they don't. You cannot give birth to a trans. What the fuck? You can only become a trans.
So what that also means that we need parents. We also need parents. We also need fathers having conversations. And when we're having these conversations with trans women, we have an assumption.
Fathers ain't dealing with you turning into a girl. It ain't gonna. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not dealing with it. These niggas ain't dealing with it. Sorry, not sorry. You and what you gonna do? Hang us because we don't want to deal with that shit, or you gonna keep on beating us against the head with this bullshit? Thanks a lot, Malik Yoba. You out here helping them shit on our women.
End up conflating gender identity with sexual orientation, right? And we got to be clear that not all trans women date men.
That's what some trans women date women.
I would like to hear from
some. So some dudes that turn into women go on to date women. If that's true, now I'm understanding why these people don't want these trans women in the bathroom with their little girls. I'm just saying.
all of y'all on this because I want to know what's wrong with me not caring. Meaning, like, I don't care what you identify as. I don't care who you sleep with. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, you're a human being.
And that's the piece. When you say you don't, the intention versus impact, when you say I don't care, it's almost like when I hate to say it.
So nigga can't say he don't care. Like, this nigga don't care who the straight people fucking. But he can't say he don't care who you fucking because you gonna take it a certain way. Listen to this analogy.
People be like, I don't see race.
Right.
And it's like, is the impact, it's like, how do you don't see race?
Support.
Like, I know,
Well,
if you can tell what kind of breed a dog is, you can, you
Saying I don't care who you sleep with is nowhere near the same as saying I don't see race. And when white people say they don't see race, they're not literally saying they don't see the color of your skin, dumbass. What they're saying is they're not judging you based on the color of your skin. What the fuck?
would say if you could tell what a breed, or white people can tell what all the breeds of a dog is, how you not gonna care about race? So it's when you say you don't care, that's mean like you are like erasing my existence.
And
Right.
at the same time,
So they don't care about race, so they erasing your existence. You don't care who they sleep with, so you erasing their existence. This is bullshit, man.
and failing to acknowledge that you have the privilege of not giving a fuck.
Right.
Because you get to show up in spaces where the assumptions people make about you and how you think.
It's not a privilege to not give a fuck. It's a decision. It's a right. Everybody has the right to not give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who you sleeping with. You cannot say the simplest shit with these people. Tell me this is not extreme.
Self and show up in the world are aligned with what they read you as.
Right.
When for you there are inconsistencies, you spend your entire life feeling like and being told that you need to shrink, hide, neglect, or apologize for critical parts about who you are. That's what I felt like y'all missed when Lil Nas X said, I did this at a point in my life where
all of this came as part of the response to I don't care who you sleep with. Wow. Listen to this shit.
knew the risk.
Right.
And I understood the importance of making space for other folks like Nigel Shelby so that they don't feel like they're the only one struggling with this. We've had this conversation in the space before that it cannot be the case that Malik Yoba is the only celebrity we know who is trans attracted. Just like it cannot be the case that Magic Johnson is the only celebrity we know living with HIV. We got to get over not wanting to talk about this stuff.
That's
and
right.
the other part of it is you asked about whether or not like people are being duplicitous. There's so many people I know who show up and love trans women. They just don't feel like they have the space because of the shame and the stigma.
You just said,
but you see what I was gonna say is like I care.
That's not our fault. That's their fault that they don't want to say anything about. They don't want to show people who they are. That's not our fault. What you saying is you want us to shut the fuck up while y'all scream as much as y'all want.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I care. It's like when I move into my neighborhood, right? White people all over the neighborhood, right? They already have this preconceived notion about who I am because I came from where I came from. Mm-hmm. And then when they have a conversation with me, it changes.
They don't even know where the fuck you came from until they have a conversation with you. You just making up shit, bro. Ain't no white people in your neighborhood looking at you funny, nigga. You don't look like me. Stop this bullshit, bro. Everybody is living in some fucking exaggerated fantasy world.
But the thing is, it's like we got to be able to have that conversation and not be like, well, I didn't like the way you said that, because honestly, from myself and I'm no Charlamagne, is we don't know. That's why I was like,
well,
the conversation is important, but I don't feel like
important.
nobody should have to explain themselves.
I agree. And so let me say this though, because I feel like what gets missed in you saying I don't care is that it is not a barrier for you. You see people who they are. You engage with it. It is not the thing that you would otherwise use to dismiss somebody or discount them.
Absolutely.
Say that.
Yes. But the reality.
No, why I can't just say I don't care? You want me to say, well, I'm not judging you based on who you sleep with or if you're a tranny. What if I don't want to say that and I just want to say I don't care? You can get offended, but then again, I don't care if you get offended. Just like you don't care if I get offended from what you say out of your mouth, and you're not going to let me change what you saying out of your mouth. You want the power to decide what the fuck we all say.
Have this conversation. People could listen to this. They can watch the video. They can go online. They'll still be like, yo, fuck you, faggot.
Right, they will.
And so we know we're not doing this for them.
Right.
We're doing this for one of the people that reached out, a friend of mine. Actually, it's a data, Dominican chick from uptown. I haven't seen her in about 7 years. She hit me on the gram with a picture of her daughter, who's less than 10. It used to be her son. Mm-hmm. And I was blown.
Who was a sign male at birth.
He was sign male at birth. And I'm like, wow. She's like, yo, Malik, all I know is thank you very much for your post. Tristan is now...
He lying. Dude knew more about the shit than he knew. But this is your ex from way back. But okay, this guy knew what the fuck to say when you was missing it. He told you what to say. Right there in our face.
Evangelina and living her best life. And she sent a picture and I was like, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Living my best life. That's another fucking phrase that I hear. Every time I hear living my best life, I expect some ratchet bitch to pop out of nowhere like, yeah.
Stories over and over and over. And I'm in the storytelling business. So you know what my next job is. You know what I'm doing. I'm we are getting busy right now, raising money right now to tell these stories because it's important. And so for me, I have to come into the space to bring what I bring. And when I think about just this love and trauma workshop, this is a part of it. The conversation is part of it. But what happens when we add music? What happens when we add poetry? What happens when we add meditation? What happens when we add really intentional activities to lighten the load for people? Because people are going to be coming down to ZC with all of this trauma. Years and years and years of the world saying you do not matter. And then here I come. Mm-hmm. And I know I can't do it alone, which is why last week was a very tough week for me for many reasons. But why in the middle of the storm, I'm actively and intentionally reaching out to healthcare professionals, for artists, for the people like I mentioned, Teak Milan.
This nigga never made his point and then he changed the whole direction of what he was saying.
Certain night, those folks say, listen, the world is screaming a bunch of nonsense right now, but we got a mission. And on this date, this moment starts a movement. I know a lot of y'all been doing your work, but I haven't seen the cisgender men step up and say, this is for us as we lean into this conversation with this whole other group of people. I know right now there's people in my DM.
Because we don't have a reason to lean into a conversation about this. They say they want to be women. We say, okay, weirdo, you get mad. He called me a weirdo. Okay, get over it. Thanks, goodbye. Well, he shouldn't say get over it. He should come really understand me. Wait, but you said what you wanted. You're getting what you wanted. I totally understand. What's the problem? Oh, I want you to love me. Well, nigga, get over it. You know what I'm saying?
Right now, yo, brother, you did it again. Thank you very much. And guess what? I respond to every single person that took the time to reach out because it is that critical to me. You know,
That's a goddamn lie. Nigga, you just said you got thousands. In a week, you got thousands of DMs. Now you responded to every single one in a week. This nigga is just lying his ass off. All up here. First it was 16 when he learned about trannies. Then it was 19. Wow, what's that? Nigga, you is just a fucking liar.
we got work to do, period. And hopefully we can have these conversations without people attacking each other.
I hope you keep doing that work you doing. As the dude over there, the gay dude over there said, while all these black folks is dying and not getting jobs, you keep on going over here doing your work, nigga. Shitting on the women. You fucking fool.
Right.
Without putting each other down because we don't understand.
This nigga is in financial ruin and this nigga is checking a bag. This is what this is. Especially now he talking about he produced movies and all this shit, and now there's a whole LGBTQ movie category out here and it needs to be filled up, and this nigga is right to the rescue.
And
it's another thing we don't
the
understand.
black and
Well,
brown
we should
people.
expect that. We should expect it, but it's also then the responsibility of brothers, cis and trans, queer and otherwise, to stand up and be disruptive.
And the family members.
It's not our responsibility. We got our own fights. We got bills and we have our own social justice fights to fight for that we decide. You're not running around here deciding to fight for the stuff that I want to fight for, but I need to fight for what you want to fight for. Like, I need to. It's my responsibility. But it's not your responsibility to come over here and scream out against GMOs like I want people to do. Okay. These people are pieces of shit.
Right, so my boy, I want to give a shout out. I just had this conversation on the way over
I'm
here.
y'all acting like real men right now, not letting the women talk. I just want you to know.
Yeah,
that.
No, I got
questions.
I'm like,
Because they feel like they're letting the woman talk, the goddamn, and then you saying them the women. Ain't none of you motherfuckers let Angela Yee done talk one motherfucking time. One motherfucking time. Why the real woman can't talk? Now we got us a new hashtag. It's hashtag RWR. We're going to take a book from Black Girls Rock and we're going to roll with Real Women Rock. You can do the hashtag with the RWR or hashtag Real Women Rock. We need to start putting that shit everywhere. Real Women Rock.
Angela, I was like,
I'm gonna throw that out there. All right.
wait, I'm like, Angela, you see that? You see this?
Like, I have a lot to say too.
Like, they doing a lot of talking about this.
Angela said I have a lot to say too, but y'all act like y'all ain't hear that shit.
They're actually living the experience.
I was talking about our responsibility as a couple.
Can I give a shout out? I just got to give a shout out to my homie, Kay Bain, who runs Cure Violence out of Queensbridge Projects. And I was just having this conversation this morning. Now, Kay is my little brother. Kay is, him and his brothers, I adopted them, quote unquote, about 23 years ago. They were a musical group. I saw the talent.
I don't give a fuck.
They were.
We need to go here.
Yo, man, why you have us doing this bullshit? He said, if I'm going to fuck the folks who have been born in this time without all the information, please just encourage each other to lean in, to listen, to ask questions versus statements, which is so important in every relationship, so that we can learn more and just simply listen.
But when you ask the questions, you're answered with a question. Nobody even wants you to have understanding. They just want you to say, yes, you're right. I agree and I love you. And now I want to leave my wife for a person like you. That's what they want. You can't ask a question.
I have a question for Carmen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I just want to add to what you're saying. For example, when we talk about trauma, we also have to understand the intersectional identities. Like, so I'm not just black, right? Mm-hmm. So I am confronted with racial oppression. And then when I get in spaces where I invite folks to my authentic truth as a woman of trans experience, I'm confronted with another set of oppression, right? And so those happen to be trauma because also is a conversation around.
You can't be oppressed by us. So who oppressing you? Who oppressing you? The entertainment world, which y'all all fucking a part of, is not oppressing you. They pushing you forward. You can't be oppressed by us. Y'all just crying because we don't agree.
Access, right? What it looks like to go to the doctor, what it looks like to sign a lease for an apartment, what it looks like to be at a job. So oftentimes that narrative about coming out, right? There's oftentimes we constantly as LGBTQ folks.
Like if you signing a lease for an apartment, you trying to get an apartment and you come in there dressed like a woman, trying to look like a woman. And if the landlord don't know that you're a man, why would you even tell him that you are transgender? Like, why? Why?
Have to invite folks in, right? For example, just locker room talk, right? Guy comes in like, yeah, I like X, Y, and Z, right? Assuming that this person that they're next to is a cisgender heterosexual folk. But what if that person that's not their experience? You already in your ways of being excluded the existent by assumption, assuming that every person that you encounter is straight.
Right.
So in locker room talk, if a man come in here and say, man, I like that chick out there with that big booty, he's assuming that the person he's talking to is straight. Is that what you're saying? Okay, maybe he is. And he shouldn't do that. But then if you're not straight, you can come into the locker room and tell us what you like. And that's all good. You're assuming we're gay, right? It's just, they just stupid, bro.
Every person that you encounter is cisgender. And so what we're having...
Just because they telling you what they like in the locker room does not mean... Oh, my God. Bro.
Conversation about is like really switching language intentionally.
Mm-hmm. Comment in Nala, because Malik mentioned 10 years old. And another thing that we discussed is like, is that too young to make that kind of decision?
But again, you got to remember the decision is made for us. As Brother David was saying, is that the assumption about who you are is assigned to you by the doctors, right? Mm-hmm. Off your genitalia. Mm-hmm. So
but you know who
to the
you
extent
are.
that one can.
Right. That's what it is. And that's why I cut
genitalia. Gender. These people, man.
But we did have a whole conversation about this, and you identify with what you identify as.
At the point at which you were able to do so. So some of this is, so to be clear, what the science says developmentally is that kids as young as 5 years of age, I taught kindergarten, it happens around that age, are starting to make sense of who they are in the world around them. It could be the case, however, if you don't live in New York, where you don't have access to the spaces that Malik talked about, organizations that exist when you have resource-rich opportunities, you live in rural America where people think black people and black queer people don't exist, you might not encounter somebody of trans.
People in rural America do not think black people don't exist. This dude right here is way the fuck off the chain. Because rural areas have areas with black folks too. What are you doing? This ain't the motherfucking 50s. This nigga, oh, bro, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? You just saying shit. Them rural people ain't stupid enough to think black people don't exist. Even if they don't live close to one black person out there, what you saying? They too damn rural to have a television?
That's why a show like Pose is so important, because it shifts you having to be able to literally engage somebody in a discussion like this.
And you take folks seriously.
Right?
So what about y'all? When did y'all, I don't know, like, I'm don't want to use the wrong language.
Tell me why. Why is this important for you? Yeah, why is this important
you
for you?
gotta know the when and the
why is it important for you? And
only because of the youth aspect to it. You know what I'm saying?
See, every time Charlamagne asks a question, he's confronted with a question instead of an answer. They're saying children as old as, the science is saying, children as young as 5 years old can make the decision on who they are as far as male or female. It's only right, I think, that Charlamagne say, so when was it when y'all? Because, and you know why they don't want to answer that? Because they know none of them felt that way when they was kids. That's all made up bullshit. That's why they don't want to answer that. Now they want to say, why do you need to know that? Well, I thought the whole point was to lean in, ask the questions, because it wasn't a statement, ask the questions and understand. How the fuck can you lean in, ask the questions, and understand if every question is answered with a fucking question?
Only because when you see young, kids identifying as different genders, I'm wondering if they really feel that way or now they have the choices.
When did you know you were what you are?
When did you know you were black?
No. Don't do the black. No, when did you know?
This bitch just said, when did you know that you were black? Oh my God. This bitch ass nigga just said, when did you know that you were black? And then look back and nodded his head. Look at this shit. When did you know you were black? Look at this shit, man. First, this motherfucker say, when did you know that you are what you are? He can't even say straight. So lesbians exist, gays exist, trannies exist, queers exist, bisexuals exist, but straights don't exist. When did you know that you are what you are? What the fuck? And then this bitch ass nigga over here say, when did you know that you were black?
Kids identifying as different genders, I'm wondering if they really feel that way or now they have the choices.
When did you know you were what you are?
When did you know you were black?
No. Don't do the black. No, when did you know that you are who you are?
Tell the truth, bro. Why you can't just say, nigga, now I'm wondering about you. Because I say about 10, I was looking like, man, I think I want to try whatever it is I'm supposed to be trying with that girl right there. Yeah, that girl right there. Let me get... And her name was Nicole, and I was Nicole. She was a couple years older than me. One of my best friends from right across the street. I was like, hey, Nicole. That was about 10. 9, 10, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Why do you...
But he don't know. Boy, your ass is lost. Lost nigga. But you asked a good question.
That's to be able to offer up a similar story.
I never thought about it.
So this is again the problem that we're talking about, right? Like these assumptions. And we play these things out without thinking through the impact, right? Like...
See, here's what it is. He want to say that kids can make the decision on what they are at 5 years old, but he ain't got no real proof, as in his experience, or this other dude experience, or this other dude experience, or this Malik Yoba dude experience, because none of them felt the way they saying 5-year-olds feel when they was 5 years old. That's bullshit. They lying.
That process is intimate. It can run time. I have been in relationships with women before I identified as a same gender loving black man. It's not only complicated as fuck, it's not something that people should be expected to regurgitate on command, especially when you can't do it.
Right.
So why? So
when you know,
why?
you know.
You don't
Like,
know
when
what
you
you
know,
As
you
you
know.
know, right? Because that's what you're ultimately gonna say. I just know, and so we have to trust that right now, kids.
But he want to know, did you just know at 5 years old? No, you didn't. And you know you didn't. You piece of shit.
Majority of kids in public schools are racial ethnic minority students. The vast majority of kids in high schools identify.
The vast majority of kids in public schools are not dark kids. Do we need to stop this shit? We act like whenever we get out of the hood, all of these white kids everywhere else in the world is just in private schools. Nigga, is you silly? Most kids, period, are in public schools. What the fuck is this dude talking about? Most white kids are in public schools. What the fuck?
other than strictly heterosexual. They're not saying they're gay. They're just saying that the ways that y'all's brains are working, because y'all been wired that way, don't work.
It's the way that we've been wired. Because as we have always been taught and always looked at it, if you have a penis, you're a male. If you have a vagina, you're a woman. If you have a penis, you go to the men's bathroom. If you have and there's people.
Or
that
if you're
feel
black,
that
you're guilty.
If you're exactly.
Oh my God! And here is this nigga. Or if you black, you're guilty. So a motherfucker saying, I got a penis, but I'm not a dude, and getting a lashing for it, verbal lashing for saying that shit, is the same as being black and being considered guilty because you're black. This is stupid. Malik Yoba, you're a jackass. DJ Envy, you're a jackass, bro.
But
Play it all the way out. Play it all the way out.
If you play that out, if you wear your if you wear your clothes a certain way, people be like, oh, that person likes hip hop. That person's into rap. That like we.
So here's the understanding. The way he talking about we wear our clothes, all of them people like hip hop. Sorry, motherfucker. Here's what is playing out. When they want you to lean in, ask the questions to understand, they want you to understand that they don't want to answer questions and you just need to accept anything. Not only accept it, because you're going to accept whatever they say. You ain't got no choice. They don't want you to just accept it. They want you to love them. You got motherfuckers you know in your personal life you don't love, but they want you to love them. And you can't even ask them a motherfucking question.
Do this as a society, and I think that what we're asking of ourselves and each other is to elevate our consciousness by one. I think the question is fair, even if it's a difficult one to answer. It is fair because that's one of the first things I would ask a trans woman. I'll be like, yo, because I wanted to know, like, because the thing is, if you find yourself language, Nyla says maybe use the word like trans amorous or because love. You said.
I say it means the same shit,
But you also said, but amorous or love communicates
changing trans
empathy.
attracted to love because
Yoba is about to have a threesome with these two dudes, and that third dude. So of course,
invites folks that really.
Lo Yoba is in there licking his chops. He already had the white dude over there. You know what I'm saying? A number of times, like. Dude didn't put unicorn dust in his face and shit.
Contextualize compassion, empathy, building, trust. When you're saying attracted, the impact that is being heard is that you're only acknowledging my physique.
It's close to the conversation we started earlier about whether or not people are being deceptive and duplicitous.
But that's how we're attracted to women, not trans, but like a regular person and a regular dude and a regular woman. We first see them, we're attracted to what we see. We don't know anything else. Is there something wrong with that? Like you can't, these people telling you they just want to be who they are, but they don't want you to be who you are. These people are for sure, all of them, Democrats, far left. Like AOC far left type plus type shit. To the point where like y'all don't understand what these far left people is doing to y'all. The liberals, look, it's not just liberals no more. It's liberals and this far left. A lot of these liberals are going over to the right. And they about to vote for Donald Trump because these far left people are taking it too far. They're irrational. They don't make any sense when they speak.
Say this is hard stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is why you have to ask these questions,
mm-hmm.
right? But so much about this is appreciating that at a point in time we needed to make these assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
When we didn't have the ability to sit and community with people and build relationships. It was fight or flight. You were encountering somebody, you had to figure this out. Physiologically, the thing that we are wired to think about first is gender. Right? And women, again, thinking about privilege and oppression, often have to think about gender because they then have to think about ways to protect themselves.
But this is what I'm saying. So it's wrong it's just, see what listen what this nigga saying. We wired to think about gender. He's basically saying I'm not supposed to like a real natural born woman. I'm not supposed to like that. Yet, he can decide that he's only likes men. You see what I'm saying? It's all bullshit. It's all hypocrite shit.
That you then take the next step thereafter is different if you are a person of color, if you are small, if you are trans in a certain way. So some of this is natural. It's reflective. I'm not trying to beat up on somebody or anybody who's struggling with this, listening or watching. That's a natural feeling. Mm-hmm. What we are asking is that we do a better job of asking why.
White people, they finna throw all y'all in the fire, and all of us black folks that don't want to agree with this shit, we getting through in the fire with the white people. Y'all see this shit going on up here?
Have boys line up on one side and girls line up on the other without acknowledging that there are babies who don't fit comfortably into either of those categories, and you can ask them to solve a math problem. Right? Why do we ask boys to go into one bathroom and girls to go in another publicly when y'all bathrooms at homes are inclusive bathrooms? They are trans bathrooms.
So what do we advise?
The bathrooms at home are not trans bathrooms. They are private bathrooms. In public, the girls go in the bathroom with the girls, the boys go in the bathroom with the girls. Now he's saying, you're not asking them to do that at home. No, everybody at home is going in the bathroom by themselves. What the fuck is going on here? Come on, bruh. Wow. I can't believe this shit, bruh. Really? At home, you go in the bathroom by yourself. I can't believe this motherfucker just tried to make this analogy. This is stupid. These people are stupid.
So what I was saying, you said that, there's a boys line and a girls line.
That could be a money.
So he's saying it like the boys and the girls at home go in the bathroom together. Like, don't nobody go in the bathroom together at home, motherfucker. This is stupid as fuck. I can't see this, and you can't even say, listen, nothing here is being challenged. These motherfuckers doing this interview ain't challenging nothing. You know who the one with all the questions to challenge right now? Angela Yee. And she just got to leave them in her head because she was told this is just for them to come talk. DJ Envy, he already liked these people. So he know all the stuff that we want him to ask. And they gonna answer his questions. Charlemagne come with a harder question. Nigga, your shit get answered with a question. Angela Yee, she probably fuming on the inside. Look, you just chill.
Stop doing it. I'm an educator. We say to teachers, don't do things that don't make sense.
Yeah. That could be a money thing too, though. Dave.
What's the money?
The bathrooms at the house, because I might just can only afford one.
Oh Jesus!
No,
but that bathroom is a trans bathroom.
I'm serious.
I don't want my kids in my bathroom.
They got to use your bathroom.
That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the fact that
But Charlemagne, they can use your bathroom. The thing is, y'all not using it at the same time like a public bathroom, bro. Like Charlemagne even stupid. Come on, man.
People's bodies based on what bathroom they can go into. And what I said to my mother when she didn't understand it, because she again heard the fear. The lies that people tell if you let the world explain who we are and how we show up. She said, I don't want a trans man in the bathroom with my niece. Without, again, acknowledging that people who are most likely to perpetrate crimes against children know them, right? And the reality is that every bathroom that she experiences that's not in a public space is an inclusive bathroom.
Yeah.
Now I'm confused. I thought a trans man was like
as a
Teak.
Woman. Teak is a trans man.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want a trans man in the bathroom?
Because people are still because
people think that trans men are pedophiles in the same way that people think that men who teach kindergarten are pedophiles, right? Like people make silly assumptions because we don't have time to have these conversations.
Do they really think men that teach kindergarten is pedophiles? Oh my God. Now I do happen to think men that teach little girls gymnastics are pedophiles, especially when you have little boys gymnastics out here. Why they not over there? Why they not over there? Why they want to teach the little girls in gymnastics with these little swimming suit things on? You gotta ask yourself this stuff.
So 2 things, if I can. We talk about
Nope,
men.
let the women talk.
Okay, yes, sir.
What was the question?
No. But I just want to say about men and where we are. Like, I was in the barbershop the other day, and my barber's, telling me what his experience was like last week, because he's my barber. So people come to him with a lot of questions. And I said, funny thing is, we come in the barbershop, and for men, we will often talk about sex, right? Yo, man, you saw her, you getting it. But we don't talk about sexuality. We don't talk about the nuance in sexuality. And so I think that's a great place for us to start, because...
Bro, the barbershop is not finna change into talking about, man, I like trannies. What y'all think? Nigga, they gonna talk about, man, did you see Cardi B twerking, nigga? Like, come on, bro. You just want to change everything to the way you want it. Like, you can't ask the world to change their surroundings. Like, the way they have their own private surrounding that they built. That's the barbershop, nigga. They not finna sit in there and talk about gay shit, nigga. Stop. Stop the bullshit, bro.
Just from a new statistical standpoint, if you got 5 or 10 men in a room, percentage-wise, somebody's questioning their identity. Somebody's questioning their sexuality.
How the fuck do you come up with that number? Like, how do they come up with these numbers, bro? He just made the shit up. Nobody's gonna ask how they come up with that number.
Don't create those safe spaces for men to do that.
We should all question.
goes
How
back
do you
to
know
that-
unless you question? We should all question.
It
Again,
goes
like
back to that
the way
locker
that we
room
even think
talk.
about that
David,
is
you're
off the
cutting off a
negative.
woman.
Yeah,
Why the
thank
fuck
you.
he keep bouncing in his chair every time he talk? Fucking sissy. Just...
It goes back to that locker room talk that I was talking about earlier, is that when you have those conversations, you're making assumption around social contact that everyone in the room is straight.
Right.
And so that makes it hard for them to invite you to their being,
That's
their
privilege.
lived experience. And so that's why when you say you don't care, what that does. Right. For example, I'm going to kind of shift the conversation just a little bit. For example, Bailey Reeves. I hope I'm saying her name right. Reeves, 17-year-old from Baltimore.
that died.
Right?
I'm sorry, that got killed.
Right.
That killed him.
Because
My
there's a
bad.
cognitive
murdered.
dissonance about us saying died. But
Look how he holding dude hand. Look how he holding dude hand. Look how he holding dude hand, bro.
calling it what it is.
Yeah.
She got murdered, shot. Right?
Brutally.
17 years old. Baby. Teen. Right? And so
How many just happened last weekend? 17 years old in the United States. Bitch, I don't want to hear about that shit. Kiss my ass.
oftentimes in the Black trans community, as particularly Black trans women, we don't even hit the age 35. It is a blessing to hit 35. Then we have Florida, right? I think her name is
B Love.
B Love. Yeah, B Love, right? 23. The way she got murdered is insane.
Is that the one who got tied up and
Burned
Yeah.
till she was unreckonable. Like no one could recognize. Yeah, recognize.
This bitch been saying dumb shit all night. She didn't say unreckonable. Goddamn. Unreckonable. Fuck it, we unreckonable. In this
Right?
bitch.
So there is something within our community that we're not having conversation about how we protect all women, particularly all Black women.
No, we not gonna protect. First of all, we can't protect all women. Second of all, we're not in our community. We're not adding you in any community. We're not adding men that want to be women into the women's category, and we need to protect them. Nigga, I'm looking at you. Your neck stronger than mine, motherfucker. What the fuck is you talking about? Protect your motherfucking self, nigga. The fuck you want, nigga? You ain't no woman. You don't get that bullshit up out my face. Protect all women. See, man, now I'm so on y'all head. You motherfuckers is really coming at our women like this, bro. You coming at our women like this. This trans community is coming at our women like this. And I'm really gonna tell y'all like this. Gays and bisexuals, y'all need to jump out of that pool with them. Because we been cool with y'all. This shit here is an attack on our women. God damn. These women arguing with us every goddamn day trying to get us to protect all of their ass. And now you coming in talking about, yeah, I'm with them. Protect me too. Man, y'all better jump on these big man hoes. Shit.
Or the men. I mean, because let me tell you something. Like,
right.
I have felt vilification. I felt a lot of love, so I just want to acknowledge that. But, you know, there's been a few times in my career where my public life, where a personal choice, whether it's dating a white woman, whether it's choosing a character in a show, whether it's, you know, getting let go of a show like an Empire where there's rumors that I was, you know, crackhead, you know, it's very painful when you sit in a...
Now we know why you was on Empire, because Lee Daniels is your butt buddy, nigga. Start telling the truth, nigga. Now we want you. You wanted to say it. Now we want to know the truth. Now you want to say, nah. I'm going to do my moonwalk back pedal joint.
Eye of the storm, and people come for you. And when you talk about black women, I'm talking about black men. Like my fraternity, well, my former fraternity, I'm going to blow them up right now. Phi Beta Sigma. We had an executive director that was murdered like that young woman you're talking about. He was gay. He was running for public office in Louisiana. Because we don't have a culture, even within an organization like Phi Beta Sigma, that slogan is culture for service and service for humanity. You have a gay leader who has to then go and live in the shadows, make poor choices based on that. And he was murdered like that young woman. No one stepped up.
His brother.
And as brothers. And so as I've gone through my storm.
Because they probably feel like you're not trying to help humanity. You're stunting the growth of humanity.
Recently, those brothers didn't step up for me. They stepped away. And so, and they publicly acknowledged that.
Or they said something publicly?
They did. They went public. And they said,
we're talking about the brother organization to the sorority that also talked about defining black womanhood as
but let me say this though, because
right, so you at war with the women, nigga. Like I said, because you mad at the sorority because they said black womanhood is only for real women, nigga. Cisgender women. Well, they say real women. Because they're right. That's a woman. These motherfuckers ain't women.
In the organization have hit me up and said, yo, that is...
And like, gay women still tell you like, I'm a woman. We even got the ones we call studs. That's the term we've been using. The gay women we call studs. They still tell you I'm a woman, nigga. Most of them be like, don't call me no dude. I'm a woman. Because they not fucking crazy. Like these two dudes sitting up in here with the fake titties out and shit. Then put the shirt on almost and shit. Goddamn, man.
A travesty, because within the leadership of this organization right now, there's inappropriate behavior. And I'm not trying to blow anybody up, but
hypocritical, not inappropriate.
You just said you're going to blow them up.
This is what hypocritical, right? And so at what point do we get really comfortable being uncomfortable?
That's right.
So that we can make everybody comfortable.
And we can all get free.
Because I had the same conversation I was telling you.
Just be comfortable, nigga. I done faced racism in this goddamn world. Do you know what the fuck I did? Goddamn it, you motherfuckers ain't gonna stop me. You don't like me? Oh well. You think I'm a nigger? Oh well. I ain't finna argue with your ass, nigga. Fuck you. I'm comfortable where I'm at. Fuck you. That's all you gotta do. Y'all want us to just love this shit. And y'all want the whole fucking city at the Pride Parade. It's not Pride. That's fucking LGBTQAIZW Pride. We ain't that, nigga. We got pride in who we is. You have pride in who you is. Stop trying to get us to come. And all you fucking straight women that been going, y'all foolish for supporting that bullshit, because now they on your head. They coming for y'all ass.
Be in D.C. at the Congressional Black Caucus this week. I was on the phone a couple days ago with Congresswoman. I love her, Frederica Wilson. She's like a mom to me. And she read some stuff online, and I had to clear it up for her. And she said, baby, just, you gonna come to the town hall this week? I said, yes, I'm coming to the town hall because I have to. We have to continue this work. And it's not just about the conversation. So when I'm talking about it from a political perspective, we're sitting with our elected officials and saying, what resources do you have in place, or what policy are you putting in place to protect these babies?
The most vulnerable.
Malik, a lot of brothers in New York, I heard it this week, they was like, we always knew Malik was into, trans women? Trans attracted. And they was
that's
like,
because so were they. That's how they know.
And it was like,
so just because they always knew you was attracted to trannies, you got the right to say because they is too. No, it's because they know, motherfucker. You said you haven't been going around saying it, so it's not like you're hanging out and having sex with the trannies. Are you, or have you? Is that how other trans attract men know, because you was running around fucking them while you married? Or you just full of shit and you think we can't say nothing about you, but you got the right, just because these men say they knew you was attracted to trans and they really never cared, you just can come out and say because they is too.
No big deal.
That part. You missed that part.
Yeah.
And it was like no big deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whether people know or not, I mean, it doesn't. It's what does that mean? It means
it's not a big deal. I didn't make a video about, ooh, look at him. He came out and said he attracted to trans. I came out with the video about Malik Yoba message because I see where this is going. We need to all come together against this shit. I know a lot of pro-blacks, y'all gonna be like, y'all can't do it because then y'all gotta fight with censorship and all this shit, and y'all don't want the money to stop because this is how y'all living. But for those of us that this is not how we living, we need to come together even on all our disagreements, and because this shit is aimed at our women. And we need to stand up with our women against this shit. You MGTOW niggas, you niggas don't want to be without women, so y'all need to come out and stand up against this shit with us too.
I love women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone knows Malik Yoba loves women. Malik has had a lot of women. I love women, period, in the story. But even beyond that, I love people. I love humanity. I love to...
So he got the trans women with y'all women. See? This nigga ain't shit, bro.
An abundant life.
Once again.
And one of the things that I feel my purpose in life is this is how we can all have an abundant life. Abundance of information, abundance of resources, abundance of opportunity, abundance of friends. Why do we have to live in a world of lack?
Yeah.
We live in a world of lack.
Scarcity.
Where people, scarcity. I can't do this. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do this. Why are you saying this? And I'm saying...
everything he just said is what they saying to us. Everything he just said is what they saying to us. Why are you saying that? Because we got the right to say it. So we already dealing with these people saying, why you saying that? Just regular people. Now we got to deal with you motherfuckers saying, why you saying that? But you don't want to live in the world where you saying, where everybody's saying, why you saying that? Why you doing the shit to...
That is not the only existence that we can live.
And related to that, Charlamagne, I know I am trying to host...
He like trans women and the other women, and it's just all under one woman because he likes to live in abundance. This nigga, man.
For people that don't want to care. But two things are sitting with...
we don't care. Like, we don't... people who don't want to care. We just don't care. It's not about wanting to or not wanting to. We just don't care. Who you fuck, what you do. We start caring when you doing shit like this. This little parade thing you doing here, coming at our women like this, bro.
Now, I have a sister who's a ordained minister. And
this ain't about black women. It's an attack on all women. This shit is coming. Feminists, y'all need to stand the fuck up. Now y'all got to get with us. Because now they tripping, ain't they? They tripping. Now y'all got to come hang out with us. Grabbing about a pussy ain't so bad now, is it? I know. Too soon.
Who, when she read the story, she hit me up and said, if you're ever in space with Malik Yoba, tell him thank you because I now feel seen.
Wow.
So many of us.
You feel seen because Malik Yoba, who used to be famous, who ain't really famous no more, who really a shitty actor, this is his last call. You feel seen because he said he attracted to trans. I'm done with these folks. How much time left in this? 19 minutes? Damn, bro.
One woman
you said that,
who's an ordained
said,
time ago there now, which is, right? So again, there are members in the community, black and brown, beautiful, trans women who show up in grace, making space for everybody else, who never get acknowledged. March P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera as examples. She was seen.
This is an exaggeration. Like, trannies are not going through the shit that he's saying. Trannies have been living comfortably in the open in the black community. Getting drunk outside on the same block as the damn niggas that's on the block selling dope. On the same block, people. Like, stop this shit. It's all a lie. It's all false. They want you to think it's so fucking bad because five trannies got killed. Well, we been dying, nigga. Everybody dying. This shit gonna happen. Especially when you out here tricking motherfuckers. I still don't know how you niggas get tricked. Because looking at these motherfuckers right here, I know I'm looking at dudes. There was one time on the internet I seen a girl say she was a tranny and I was like, damn, that looked like a real woman. And you know what? That was actually a woman. Just lying. Making up shit, trying to get attention.
I have been up here a couple of times. Y'all have invited me into this space. This is September. This is my third year now leading the National Black Justice Coalition. I hope people consider us a resource as they're trying to work through some of this stuff.
Not now, motherfucker, because you don't like black women. You don't like women. You riding with these women to shit on women. Since it's the Black Coalition, we can't fuck with that at all. Because the Black Coalition want to shit on black women with the trannies.
I have had friends say to me, David, we don't get this gay shit. We are only interested in even having this conversation and because we care about you.
Now, what's wrong with that? No matter how much you talk to them, they're not going to get the gay shit. But you can say you don't get the straight shit. And that's cool. But we say we don't get the gay shit. Now it's a whole big thing.
In the last week, I've had no fewer than 5 friends, one of whom I've known for a decade, call me and say, I now have the language to talk about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
What's the language? Stop this bullshit. The language English. What? He said he trans attract, and all them niggas that say they didn't get the gay shit, what you saying? Because this is what the conversation was. What you saying? They now saying they got the language to talk about it because he used the word trans attract. These people crazy, bro.
This is about...
Because
you made the... I'm sorry, let me finish the sentence. Right? Because you offered up the language.
Right.
Because you took up space and said, I am trans attracted. And it wasn't someone who has been...
And that's the language. They got motherfuckers that don't get the gay shit to open up, and now they got the language to talk about it because of 2 fucking words. Listen here, man. This is all stupid ass cliche bullshit.
Leader of an LGBTQ organization.
These people are against our women out here, man. We need to get the fuck away. We need to build our own communities away from this shit. We need to go rural and get the fuck away, build our own communities away from this shit. Because this is turning into some way the fuck off the wall. Dwayne Wade is next. Watch what I say. I got to get out of here. It's 18 more minutes left. It ain't much more left in it, but y'all can go watch the last 20 minutes of it and get what you get. I got to get out of here. Y'all motherfucking, y'all know, donate. The links is in there. Donate. The email is the contact that's up top. The donation links is down at the bottom, and they will be in the description. Holla at your boy. I got to get on up out of here. This was some bullshit. It's time to stand up against this shit, y'all.